Hey everybody, this is a short live stream, but it's breaking news. This happened just inside of an hour ago, actually 2 hours ago now, but I was on with Dan Rasher and Lee Steinberg before Rasher, Mr. Rasher, Dr. Rasher. Third, not one, two. This is the third reported case of an Allegiant Stadium worker found diagnosed with a coronavirus. And that happened today, just as people were saying, hey, construction continues. You had two. And you might wonder what this window is. And this is right here, that one. This window refers to a Twitter feed with a specific reference to Mr. John Walston, who wrote, basically, if we can get this up close for you, and we can. He writes, and zoom in here and zoom in a bit more. He writes the Las Vegas Raiders Journal, as he calls it, appropriately. Today ran a story that was copied word for word from a news release from the stadium PR folks about another COVID-19 case at the site. It's the third case. And then he writes in parentheses, we have another case, but we're doing all the right things, nothing to see here. So wait a minute. You have a fourth? There's a fourth case? And then he continues. Then the Las Vegas Raiders Journal, and that is an appropriate name, breathlessly announced a new feature, a fan forum to go with the paper's Vegas Nation branding, now affixed to the Review Journal building. Who's quoted in the story? The ad director and head of sales. Says it all. Total integration, #journalism. Well, hey, I'll add to that. Vinny Bonsiori is actually paid by the Raiders, but contributes to the Review Journal. I'm happy that Vinny is getting income. That's what is going on there. And the Raiders have put out all stops in making sure that only the positive spin is told on this. And yet, you have to ask, everything else is closing down. What's happening? I mean, look at this. #Florida beaches. What does that tell you? He says, sometimes your brain doesn't have to believe what your eyes are seeing. I don't know what that's about. Somebody in Florida's governor right now, Florida beaches. Jacksonville reopened this beach 26 minutes ago. There's a live picture. Do you see this? Doesn't look good. That's not like social distancing. Certainly doesn't. Governor Ron DeSantis is now responsible for every death that folks, you get the idea. Okay. So you've got, look at this tweet. Florida's going to be a bloodbath between the nursing homes. Wonder why you don't have the same kind of outrage regarding the Las Vegas Stadium news. This is horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. This says Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas and SoFi Stadium in Inglewood have had multiple workers test positive for COVID-19, but construction continues with the goal of finishing the project in July. Words of Rash, the show goes on. But what has to happen before this stops? Las Vegas Raiders that Las Vegas locally got is excited they got inside the stadium. Wouldn't you be afraid of catching the coronavirus if you were inside now? Just wondering. And this is a Mitch Akers post that was referred to by John Walston. Fidel says, this will turn to resorts world soon going to have to make blanket bans on construction. Um, hey, somebody even referred to me. Zinni is never right. Thanks. Oh, I didn't plan that, folks. It's just there. Yeah, I'm never right. Okay. Hey, whatever. They spell my name correctly. Isn't that interesting? Uh, but this is tragic. Okay. Hey, Raiderettes are hosting viral auditions, though. That's a great thing. Be careful. Wow. I mean, how far does this have to go? And Ralston's right about the Review Journal. I mean, if you type Allegiant Stadium, okay, right there, like I just did, all right, third worker tests positive. But I want you to look at this is what this is in point of fact. As this opens up, I'm going to switch it over. This is what Ralston is referring to as far as how this was written, this piece, if you will, okay? Listen to this. All right. Listen to this. All right. It reads like this, folks. I'm gonna scroll this down and read it, okay? It goes like this. A third worker at Allegiant Stadium tested positive for the novel coronavirus. The firm building the $2 billion facility reported Friday. This is at 1:57 p.m. Mortensen McCarthy, the joint venture leading the $2 billion stadium's construction, was notified Thursday of the positive test. The statement said the visiting trade partner administrator, holy cow, listen to this. The statement said the visiting trade partner administrator on the Allegiant Stadium project who tested positive for COVID-19 was last on site last week, which means this person was visiting and left and took it someplace else. Which begs the question, how many people who worked on the stadium in some capacity have been diagnosed for or have it? The individual who is in limited contact with others, this is what they always say. While pursuant to safe distancing protocols, left the job site on April 7th prior to experiencing COVID-19 symptoms. The news release from Mortensen McCarthy said the individual is now in self-isolation. No other craft workers on site were exposed to the individual. They repeat this all the time, okay? And then meanwhile, you have the governor basically saying,
so by many metrics, we're on the map for being one of the best states at taking social distancing seriously. And no one should be surprised, because when you stay home for Nevada, you do it for your neighbors, your family, and your community. No one wants to get back to business more than I do. We are a proud state. We are a hardworking state. Nevadans take pride in bringing home a paycheck, paying for their kids to be the first in their family to go to college, having a job that provides health care for their loved ones. We're a state that works hard to earn the dollars that we make. We like showing up to work every day. I take this seriously, very seriously. And I know you do too. And it shows in these numbers. It shows in the results you're beginning to produce.
You mean like the third Las Vegas stadium worker diagnosed with novel coronavirus? Gotcha, Governor. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I got it. Wow. How much more do we have to take of this? I don't know. Wow. Okay. Wow. Right, Abbott says some sponsors might renegotiate. I bet are going to be scared for at least another year for gatherings like that. Ryan says XFL signed 3-year leases and filed for bankruptcy to get out of paying the lease for 2.5 seasons. And so let's see here. And then Ryan says H3 Podcasts had a doctor on and said 100% test positive and RN and 50% that test negative, false negatives. I don't know what a false negative is. All I know is this is absolutely ridiculous. The lawsuits that are going to come about from this will be tremendous. I don't know if Mortensen McCarthy has considered, but they're fooling around with what could be a gigantic class action lawsuit on the part of a number of workers, not only against Mortensen McCarthy, but even against the unions that, or any other persons that pushed them to work under conditions they knew from a COVID-19 perspective were hazardous. I don't know why anyone in their right mind would speak in favor of this situation. Of course, there are a lot of people in their wrong mind. What is the purpose of pushing this? It's not jobs. I mean, you could in this situation, you could apply as an independent contractor for the payment protection plan and at least have some raison d'etre to tell your congressman and senator, hey, have them expedite my check. Sit at home, shelter in place, stay out of trouble. But no. Sure, the NFL wants sports, but they're not going to get sports the way they want with this reckless behavior. It's not happening. It's not happening. Okay? At all. At all. Ryan says the testing sites, 50% that get tested that show are actually positive for the coronavirus, but they think they're negative and they're not. Okay, got it. Raider Kuko, how you doing? Raider says, hey, Zenny, looking like NFL will have to play with no fans at all. No fans, if at all, for the upcoming season, and that will buy Raiders time to finish the stadium. Construction will most likely be suspended soon. It should be. They should have suspended it a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when this started. So you know what? Stop. And then pick it up later. Hey, you can't do the season. You can't do the season. There are more important things like lives. Okay, lives. So I want to get this out and into the can, if you will. Be back to talk about it more on Saturday. I'll be back later tonight, but not about this. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com. Thanks. And thanks everybody for showing up. Thank you. I'm right. Thank you. Thank you.